Before we start, this is not a beginner-friendly guide. I'm assuming you already know what these are. In this video, I'm basically going to do 3 tutorials in one video. How to make object textures load in any map, how to convert a map piece into an object, and how to add an existing collision to an object. Starting with the short version is that some objects don't load the textures from the BND, but instead load the textures from the map textures. So basically we're going to get those TPF files, which are the textures, and pack them inside the object's BND file. That's the short version. Now for the long version. If you open the FLB file with FLever editor and go to materials, you're going to see that the textures are set to load from the map textures, which in this case is Los Bastille, so is M1016. Map textures are in game, model, and map inside these TPF BHD files. So, since in this example I need Los Bastille textures, I'm going to unpack T1016, which is Los Bastille TPF BHD file. Inside here we can find all the textures in DCX format, but we need the TPF. So extract them with Jabber DCX or with Witchy, whatever you want. Since we only need the TPFs, we can delete these DCX files, and we are going to add them and pack them inside the BND with Jabber. Again, I'm assuming you already know what this list is and how to add new files to a BND. And after we do this and pack the file, reload the area and you'll see that the object now has the textures. This is basically the first tutorial. Now for the next tutorial. How to convert, transform a map piece into an object. In short, we're going to grab the FLB file of this map piece, change the ID to something that sounds like an object, and we're going to pack that inside a BND. Now we have an object. That's the short version. The long version is we're going to go to Map Studio and grab the ID of this statue, which in this case is M0930. Map pieces are again in game, model, and map. So in this case, Los Bastille map pieces are in M1016 map PHD file. We're going to extract this file, and again we're going to find a lot of DCX files, and if we use Jabber DCX we can grab the FLB file. I'm going to use the same folder as before. It doesn't matter since we're going to give it a new ID, and this FLB we're going to change the name to a made up ID. In this case it's going to be 0609122. It doesn't matter the ID, just that it has the format of objects, that all of them start with O and then some ID. And then we're going to basically do the previous example. We're going to grab the texture, we're going to pack the texture and the FLB inside this BND, and we're going to give it a new ID. And after we use Jabber, it's going to generate a new file. Since this is a new file, I believe I have to close the game and reload it. So we're going to do that. But after we add this piece to Map Studio and then open the game again, we're going to see that we have now a map piece that it was previously from Los Bastille, now in Majula. We can see that it has a weird lighting. Something about the lighting is off. This is because of the global illumination material, or the GI material. So we are going to open again this file with FLever editor, and we are going to change the material path to this. We're basically deleting the global illumination, the GI, and we're going to have it like this. After that, we're going to save, repack again with Jabber, and when we reload the game, we can see that now we fixed the lighting. Now it's normal. So remember, if you have lighting problems, you have to change the GI material path. And that is basically the second tutorial. And now, for the final tutorial, how to add an existing collision to a custom object. This one is easier but a bit specific, since we need an object that already has a collision that is similar in form to the custom object we want. In this case, I'm going to grab this pillar from Shaded Woods, since it has a similar form to the statue from the previous tutorial. I'm gonna grab the BND of the pillar, unpack it, and I'm going to copy the HKX file, which contains the collision. I'm going to rename it to match the previous ID of the custom object. And here's the fun part, we need a hex editor. So we're going to open the HKX file in a hex editor. And basically at the end of the file, we are going to see the name of the original name of the object. Now, some collisions have more than one name of these, so make sure that you are changing all of them to match the new ID. So in this case, I'm going to change it to 0609122. After you save, go to FLever editor to the bones part and also change the name to match the ID. So make sure everything matches, every ID matches the FLV, the HKX file, and the names inside of them with FLever editor and any hex editor. After you pack the HKX file inside the BND and repack it everything again, you'll see we have an object with a collision. The only thing is that this collision doesn't clank when you hit it. You know when you hit a wall and it clanks? This collision doesn't clank, and the reason why that happens is because